Bro, I need to retwist. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh! I've played these games before!
Alright. We're on here yapping, bro. It is 12:30. I would say July 4th, but it's July 5th. But we're on here yapping. Squid Game Season 3, man. I gave it a week. And got some things to say about it. Great season. I think it was the best season. Finale is garbage. No, it's hot take. I get it. You know, some people liked it. I hated it. But, hey, man, we finna talk about it, bro. Let's get into it. I won't be really going into depth that much. I'm not trying to make this like an hour-long video. I could yap, but I'm trying to make this a very not detailed video, bro. I'm trying to get this out before like the hype dies down, because I know a lot of people do hate the season. Well, not the season, but the ending, which I hate the ending. But yeah. All right, so starting with episode 1, I do think that this was, I would say, the second best episode 1 out of all 3 seasons. I think it was literally a 10 out of 10. I don't think anything was bad in this episode. I think it was more like kind of funny that like the main character was not talking.
That would all. Can I see you as my crush?
Yes, I don't know names, bro. I don't care. I don't know names. I know numbers. Like, I'm American, bro. What can I say? I think the first 2 episodes are the best 2 episodes in the season. Namgu, or however you say his name, I already know I said that wrong, but his performance was good. I loved every time he was on the drugs, bro. It was so funny. Minsu as well. I'm glad he took the pills. He would not have survived that game if he didn't take the pills. Let's all keep it a bug, bro. He would not have survived that game. I think all of the deaths in this episode could work, but there's only one that doesn't, and that's Daeho, man. Daeho. I know his name because I don't even know his number, so I had to know his name. But Daeho, I think his death works, but I think they kind of messed up his backstory. Like, literally, he summed up his whole backstory in 60 seconds, bro. And then he just started fighting the main character. I thought that was horrible. Like, bro, he literally just said I'm not even in the military. I lied about everything. I want to be cool.
Are you serious?
So basically, his whole character from season 2 literally just doesn't matter anymore, bro. Like, I don't know what to say about that. I think that was poorly done. That's like really the only bad thing about this episode, I would say. I think everything else was pretty good. I like how the shaman lady died to Minsu. I think that was the only way he was gonna get a kill. I'm not gonna lie. He was cooked if he didn't take the pills, bro. Let's keep it a bug. Now, before we get to episode 4, I gotta talk about Junho, man. That whole storyline with him going to the island and trying to find his brother. Way too long of a storyline, bro. And I think it was horrible that he got to the island and only said 2 words, bro.
In Hawaii.
That was horrible. I thought that was really bad. I think they could have drawn that out way better. Maybe have them actually have a
Conversation.
maybe not have a
Baby win.
but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Don't worry. Going on to episode 4, Jump Rope. Jump Rope. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I
Hate
that there was 3
suicides.
in one season, bro. I think that was really trash. We had the mother of 007. We had the mother of the baby. And we had the main character, bro.
3 main characters.
Killing themselves. Crazy work. The only 2 that work is the mother of 007 and the main character. Junhee, it was probably emotional to some people, but to me, I think it would have been way more emotional if she actually tried to play the game, and then we saw her just get
Launched off of it.
bro. I think that would have been way more emotional. Cause when I was watching it, I was like, bro, we just saw someone kill themselves. Like, this isn't like hitting as hard as it would if she actually tried to play the game and then died. Like, it was kind of, I didn't like how she was like, she basically just gave up. Which I get it. Like, you have a broken foot, but it's like, bro, You could at least try it. It would have been more emotional for me. Also, the guy that was pushing the people off, and man, main character should just let him do it, bruh.
You had the baby.
I mean, do you really care about these other people or what? Like, that's another thing that I hate about this season is like they make the main character flip-flop between morality so much that it's like I don't know what he is. Like, is he an antagonist or a protagonist? Like, I don't understand. Like, this man was
Bloodlusted.
the whole hide and seek game, and then we'll get to the end of the last game soon, but like this game, he's like, stop, don't push them off, bro.
Why?
This free money, bro. And I get he wanted to go back, but it's like it probably would have been faster if he had
Killed everyone.
on there, and then you could have went back, and then you could have told the other people on the other side, don't go or he's gonna push you off, and then you go. That would have been
Easy.
if you actually wanted to go back. I don't know how he was gonna help her. I don't know how he was gonna help 222, but yeah, that, I mean, that makes more sense to me than what he actually did, which was fight him, and then what he saved player 100.
Really?
You saved player 100 after he was literally talking trash to you in episode 1, talking about give him a round of applause for killing all those people for free.
Free money. Like what?
Also, a lot of people do not like that there was 8 finalists and they were like all random characters. I kind of liked it. It was sort of realistic, as in a sense like I'm kind of glad that I don't know these characters, cause honestly, even though we didn't know anything about these characters, we didn't need to know anything about these characters. Like, they were just evil to be evil, and I thought that was kind of like we kind of needed that, cause like if it was just what 333, the main character, the baby, and player 100, like that would have been kind of lame, cause like player 100 would have just been
Glazing
them the whole time. So I think we needed his crew to be there in order to add this kind of antagonist role to the season, to the end of the season, which I thought was pretty cool. Tell me in the comments if you didn't like it. Tell me why you didn't like it. I don't know. I personally liked it. I also did not expect at all for there to even be 8 finalists, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. I think that was kind of unexpected. I think everybody thought it would be 3 or 4 max, bro. I thought it would be 3 or 4 max. Honestly, I thought it was gonna be the main character, 222, 333, and an antagonist. I thought that's how it would have been. I wasn't even thinking about the baby. I didn't think it would be a player, bro. But episode 4, honestly, episode 4 is my favorite episode. I know I said episode 1 and 2 are the best episodes, but in my personal opinion, episode 4 is my favorite. The pacing was really well. I like how they went through each storyline consecutively, even during the game. On to episode 5, man. Circle, triangle, square. I really love this game, bro. I think genuinely this was my favorite game out of this season. Second place obviously is Keys and Knives. I think that was a really good game, but I think that game was really only good because of the deaths. Like, if there was trash deaths in that game, I don't think people would be praising it as much as they are right now. But as a game overall, I do think that Squid Game is the best game out of the season. I'm not gonna lie to you. First, let's talk about the finalists, right? Actually, let me pull it up real quick. Bro, I need to retwist. I ain't gonna lie.
I played these games before! Stop! Follow my lead!
Alright. I cannot find it anywhere, so I'm just gonna basically sum them up. So we have the main character, 333, Minsu, the baby, player 100, that tall guy that was a douchebag, the smart guy, the lunchbox, and then one rando. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how else to describe him. Out of all those, 6 of them, he was like the least fleshed out. So like, get an idea of what his character was. He was just kind of like the outside guy. He was the first one to die out of all of them. So, you know, this final 8 is all right. I would change like 2 of them. If you guys want me to do my version of Squid Game Season 3, I could do that. Just let me know. Comments, like, subscribe. I think the first platform, Bro, in my opinion, I ain't gonna lie, bro, I'm gonna probably get so much hate for this. Minsu's death was the
Most emotional.
death in that last game. Even more emotional than the main character, because I low-key hated it. But bro, that death, like, Minsu had
Crazy character development.
like season 2, I hated him, bro. He literally let the only person in the game that actually cared about him
Die.
He literally dropped, what did he even drop? I don't even remember, but he tried to aim for Namgu's head and missed. You could have just went down there and fought him. But anyways, he had the best character development out of anybody. Fight me in both 2 seasons. Best character development ever, I swear. But really emotional death. I liked it. I liked how he took the drugs and he was still kind of shy. I like that they didn't just completely take his character away. I thought that was pretty cool. I like that was done well. But then the second time he took it in the jump rope, then he kind of like changed. But then the withdrawals hit him, so he kind of went back to being shy and scared. And then he started hallucinating with Thanos. You know, I forgot the other girl, Semi. I don't remember that name, Semi. He started hallucinating about her, and then player 333 pushed him off the edge. I thought that was really emotional, I'm not gonna lie. Then we get to the next platform. Everything falls apart, bro. So, triangle, trash. First, I'm gonna tell you what happened. Then I'm gonna tell you how I would fix it. They were acting like they were gonna draw lots. So they all tied each other together. He went up to him, and he was like, we're gonna draw lots. But actually, they were planning to pull him from the edge, because he was on the edge, the main character and the baby. He was gonna pull them from the edge so they could take the baby, but the main character ended up cutting the knife. The knife that the front man gave him. I ain't even talk about that, but the knife that the front man gave him, he cut the edge of the knot, took the guy off, and they were fighting on the edge. And then player 333 comes from behind and pushes the other guy off, and then he reveals that he's the baby's father. All of that I just said, perfect. Chef's kiss, bro. Perfect.
Cinema.
Right there. That was all great. It starts to get trash. Player 100 is like, calm down. Let's draw lots. Player 333 says, no, we don't want to draw lots. You're going to betray us. Even though he just betrayed them. Like,
What are you talking about?
but he says, we don't want to draw lots, right? So then they make a lunchbox. They start beating up on, who was it? The lunchbox guy. He had no character anyways either. But they start beating up on him, right? I was like, hey, this is
Easy kill, I'm not gonna lie.
keep in mind, they already had a kill this round. They did not have to do any of this. Like, after he killed him, they did not have to create the lunchbox. But they did, right? Stupid, bro. Oh my god, I'm about to crash out. Alright. They create the lunchbox. Right? He's there. And then the main character wants to speak up, talking about, yeah, let's draw lots. Bro,
Why now?
they already beat him to death. They
Broke his legs and everything, bro.
What do you mean? Now, what do you mean? Now you want to draw lots? Make up your mind, bro. You could have said this like 5 minutes ago. He was just letting 333 talk for him, but like a
Good boy.
that was so trash. I was like, bro, are we drawing lots or not? And they ended up not even drawing lots. Like, bro, are you serious?
Oh my god, bro.
Bro, it was so trash. It was so trash. It was so trash. He was like, no, we're drawing lots. This isn't right. He's already beaten half to death. What are they gonna do? Give him
The
a
cast when he wins?
you wanna carry him to the other side and let him win? Like, what are you talking about? This isn't the right way. He's already been. So they end up not drawing lots and they start fighting, right? So the tall douchebag guy starts fighting the main character. The main character kills him. Justified. The tall guy started the fight, so justified. I'm not gonna lie. 333 is fighting with the smart guy that did all the math with the earnings and all that, like who would get their share. He pushes him off the edge. So now it's the baby, 333, main character, player 100, and a lunchbox. 5 people. Player 100 starts
Glazing.
is like, okay, good, this is good. They were douchebags anyways, you know, glazing like he normally does. So then he's like, we can just get the lunchbox and wait. we already have enough earnings, and I already have my enough share to pay off my debts. So he's like, oh, Player 333 still looking at him crazy. So he's like, oh, you don't have enough money? He was like, I'll give you however much, because he had more than 10 billion. He needed 10 billion won. So he's like, I'll give you the rest of my money when I pay off my debts, if you just let me survive this. And then Player 333 is like, we'll get 15 billion won if you die, and then pushes him off. So now it's the baby main character 333 in the lunchbox, and guess what the lunchbox does?
Kills himself.
What are we gonna do now? Episode 6, basically the same thing. Let me sum this up, man. Basically, they start fighting on the opposite side, right? Keep in mind, no one is...
Press the button.
So they fight the first time. 333 gets a hold of the baby, and he starts crying. He's talking about he's gonna kill the baby. He's gonna drop the baby, right? So then the main character backs off, right? And then they start fighting again, and then that's when Player 333 dies, and then that's when the main character sacrifices himself so that the baby can win. This is trash. I'm sorry. This is garbage, bro. And I'm going to be explaining why this is trash. First of all, how did we forget to press the button, bro? That was the whole point of the game. And they literally say to
Press the button. It opens up and everything.
It was not like it was already there. How did we forget? Y'all just so bloodlusted all of a sudden? Like, that's what I don't get about the main character. He is so quick to fight, but then he's so quick to be like,
Oh, I don't want to fight no more. I don't want to fight no more.
make up your mind. Are you a villain or not, bro? Do you care about these people or
You nods.
But that is the ending. The front man goes to pick up the baby. Junho comes, talking about, why Inho, why? Trash, garbage, right? Front man leaves. 6 months later, right? He brings the money to the main character's daughter that was in California, and then he sees they're doing the games in LA, setting up a spinoff, blah blah blah. I don't really care, right? And yeah, that's basically the end of Squid Game.
Trash.
And I'll be fixing it right now. Watch me. Basically, everything was good up until the point where 333 and the main character kill the people that they were fighting, and then Player 333 kills Player 100. That was garbage. And if they still wanted to do that, they could. So you know what? Let's just do that, right? He kills Player 100. The lunchbox kills himself. It's just the three of them. The baby, the main character, and 333. Bear with me, because I know a lot of people hate 333. But yes,
He's going to win.
I know. Yes, he's going to win. It would have been better than just the baby winning. Trust me, right?
Let me cook.
So, they're now on Circle. They start fighting the first time. And then he gets a hold of the baby. And he's like, I'm going to kill the baby. Player, the main character, he backs up, right? As he did in the original, he backs up. He presses the button.
Presses the button.
He presses the button.
We are not horses. We are humans. And humans are...
And he sacrifices himself. Same message, same everything. Basically, when now we have the baby has her father, which that's best case scenario. The baby has his father. That would have been way better than Junho, who's
Never even met the baby.
having to take care of the baby. That was
Dumb.
they have a family now. He still sent the same message to the VIPs and the front man, basically saying human lives are not to bet on, and some of us still have pure soul, even though, you know, I might be getting the end, like the plot hole wrong, but y'all tell me the meaning of the ending. But yeah, man, that's how I would do it. Me personally, I think that the main character, it would have been a good send-off, right? And I think 333's story would have been fulfilled, because we were kind of getting undertones that he did not really care about the baby. I think he cared more about Junhee and the reward more than the baby, but that was because the baby was not born yet. And I think he just went crazy at the end because he was like, I don't really know. Y'all tell me. I don't know why he went crazy at the end. Y'all let me know. I'll have to research more into that. But he went crazy at the end. That was kind of, I was like, whoa, like this is a drastic shift from him just being like a
Brainiac.
like 3 minutes ago. That was kind of crazy. But it would make sense for his character. And I can literally imagine that in my head. Just him carrying the baby, and then it's just him left. Not only will this be a better ending, this will help the other storyline with Junho and Inho, right? So Junho gets there. It's about to explode, by the way. But the front man is actually in his office, bro. Is actually in his office, about to leave. And Junho comes. And they actually have a conversation about why he's been doing this, where he's been this whole time, etc., right? That would have been way better. Because the only reason he wasn't there is because he had to go and get the baby. If there's already a player there and the baby, then the guards can just get him and, you know, take him to where, I don't even know where they took the baby. But so he leaves with his brother, and then I don't really know what would happen after that. I think everything after that would play out the same. But that sounds like a way better ending to me, man. I don't know. This ending that we got, I was so disappointed, bro. I stayed up until
3 a.m.
to watch the whole thing. It was such a letdown, man. The whole season was good until the final game. I thought it was really bad the way they did all that. They should have just had 3-3-3 and the baby win. Let me know how y'all feel about this ending in the comments. Like and subscribe. We out.